Like, I personally don't think the Lakers are good enough to be contenders right now. Not right now.
When you say contenders, what do you mean?
I don't think they have enough to get to the Western Conference final. I don't think they have enough to get to really contend from that perspective.
So OKC is in a class by themselves.
Rich Paul spitting or tripping saying the Lakers aren't a contender with their current roster?
I don't know if he's spitting or tripping, but when is it cool for agents to speak in this manner, bro? But you commenting on how good this team is very interesting to me. They are trying to do what we are doing here.
Yeah.
Rich Paul, LeBron James' longtime agent, one of the most powerful voices in basketball, just went on national television and torched his own client's team, called them soft, said they don't have what it takes, questioned their entire roster construction while the Lakers sit at 17-6, tied for second in the Western Conference. This isn't some random talking head throwing shade. This is the man who represents the face of the franchise, publicly declaring the Lakers aren't contenders. And the fallout? It's already shaking the locker room to its core. Like the video if you support LeBron. Comment Lego if you want to see him be the GOAT. Let's break down what just happened here. Rich Paul didn't stumble into this statement. This was calculated. When an agent with Paul's influence makes a public declaration like this, it's not just commentary, it's a message. He's sending signals to the front office, make moves, now. He's telling Rob Pelinka that holding on to mid-tier rotation pieces while championship windows are slamming shut is organizational malpractice. This is pressure from the inside, wrapped in the packaging of sports analysis. But here's where it gets dangerous. Paul isn't just critiquing the roster in abstract terms. He's calling out specific weaknesses that every opposing coach will now weaponize. Athleticism, length, speed. These aren't just buzzwords. These are the exact pressure points that destroyed the Lakers in last year's playoffs.
But you commenting on how good this team is very interesting to me. They are trying to do what we are doing here.
Yeah.
This is where Paul exposes the fundamental flaw in the Lakers' offensive identity. Every coach in the Western Conference just got handed a blueprint. Pressure the Lakers with length, force them into half-court sets, and watch their offense collapse. The Lakers' biggest stars, LeBron and Luka Dončić, thrive in transition. But when you slow the game down, when you force them into ISO-heavy possessions against set defenses with versatile athletic wings, that's when the cracks appear. That's when you see exactly what Paul is talking about. Oklahoma City proved this. Houston's switching defense proved this. Denver's length proved this. The Lakers, the style of play which relies heavily on manipulation, step backs, and contested jumpers, becomes predictable in playoff basketball when referees swallow their whistles and defenses can play physical.
I don't know if he's spitting or tripping, but when is it cool for agents to speak in this manner, bro? Like, when? Like, when did it become okay?
Now we're getting to the real controversy that's dividing NBA circles right now. The host raises the question everyone's thinking. Should an active agent, someone who represents players on this roster, be allowed to publicly criticize the team? This isn't just ethical gray area. This is a minefield. Rich Paul represents LeBron James, the team's cornerstone. But what about the other guys in that locker room? What about Austin Reaves, who's worked his tail off to become the third option? What about the role players who just heard their own teammates' agents say they're not good enough? The locker room dynamics here are toxic. You can have all the talent in the world, but when external voices, especially ones with this much influence, start publicly questioning your roster, it creates division, it creates doubt. And in playoff basketball, doubt is poison.
We're not athletic enough to play against certain teams in the playoffs, really get easy buckets. Because Luka's slower, we put ourselves in half court. Right? Now, when you put yourself in half court, obviously you take LeBron out of the game because...
Here's where the basketball IQ kicks in and we get to the real problem plaguing the Lakers. This isn't about talent, it's about fit. Luka Dončić is a generational offensive talent, but his methodical, deliberate pace kills what makes LeBron James dangerous at 40 years old. LeBron can't create separation in half-court sets anymore. He doesn't have that first step. He can't absorb contact and finish through traffic like he used to. What he can do, what he's still elite at, is pushing pace, making reads in transition, and punishing defenses before they get set. But when Luka controls the tempo, when every possession turns into a high pick and roll with everyone standing still, you're asking a 40-year-old LeBron to become a spot-up shooter or a post-up player. That's not maximizing his value. That's wasting his final prime years. The offensive rebounding is non-existent because everyone is standing beyond the arc. The transition opportunities disappear because Luka's taken 20 seconds off the clock. And worst of all, when playoff defenses clamp down and force tough shots, the Lakers have no secondary action, no movement, no easy buckets to fall back on.
That we have every time they think they get fouled, they're gonna sit there and do one of these, right? That's a fast break. So we give about 15 points in fast break, and it's always this.
This might be the most damning observation in the entire transcript. We're not just talking about scheme anymore. We're talking about mentality, about mental toughness, about championship DNA. Championship teams don't give up 15 fast break points because their stars are complaining to referees. Championship teams get back on defense. They communicate. They have the discipline to move on to the next play. But when your four best players, LeBron, Luka, Austin Reaves, are constantly looking for foul calls instead of sprinting back, you're bleeding points to opponent transition offense. And in playoff basketball, when referees let teams play physical, that mental weakness gets exposed. Oklahoma City destroyed the Lakers by 40 points. 40! That's not a talent gap. That's a mentality gap. That's a team that couldn't handle physicality, couldn't adjust when calls didn't go their way, and completely folded under playoff-style pressure. Finesse. Two words that destroy championship aspirations in today's NBA.
Yeah. If we was in the East, I'd be like, yeah, shit, we gonna be there. But in the West, oh, man.
Yeah. Too finesse, too, man.
This analyst just summarized the entire Lakers problem in one brutal phrase. The Western Conference is a war zone right now. Oklahoma City is 23-1 with the reigning championship on their backs. They're long, athletic, and dominant on both ends. Denver has Jokic, the best player in the world, surrounded by championship-tested role players. Houston has a young, hungry core that plays with relentless defensive intensity. And then you have the Lakers. Finesse players, jump shooters, guys who need foul calls to get to the line because they're not attacking downhill with force. In a 7-game playoff series against any of those teams, that finesse style gets eaten alive. The East? Sure, maybe the Lakers could navigate that. But the West demands physicality, athleticism, and the ability to play multiple styles. The Lakers are one-dimensional, and everyone knows it.
Look at all the fouls that they get. Luka and AR, right? It's always bumping one-handed shots, right? So when they don't get calls, how stupid do they look when they're playing? If the refs decide to hold the whistle,
and in the playoffs,
we don't have anyone who's getting fouled naturally.
In the playoffs, they do too.
This is the knockout punch, the devastating truth that every Laker fan needs to hear. The team's offensive identity is built on getting foul calls on manipulation moves, bump shots, rip-throughs, exaggerated contact on step-backs. But playoff referees don't call those fouls. They let teams play. They reward aggression and punish deception. And when the Lakers can't get to the line on ticky-tack fouls, their entire offensive ecosystem crumbles. Austin Reaves went 3 for 16 in a recent game, not because he forgot how to play basketball, but because the shots he's been hitting all season, contested step-backs, fadeaways with minimal separation, are low-percentage looks that only work when defenses are forced to respect the whistle. In a playoff series, when teams like OKC can play physical without fear of foul trouble, when aggressive defenses are rewarded instead of penalized, the Lakers have no counter, no adjustment, no plan B. So where does this leave the Lakers? Sitting at 17-6 with a ticking clock and a massive decision looming. The trade deadline is coming. Rob Pelinka has to decide. Does he believe in this roster's championship potential, or does he heed Rich Paul's warning and blow it up? Does he chase athleticism and defense, or does he ride with the finesse and hope the shots fall in May? Because here's the reality. Rich Paul just put the front office on a timer. He publicly declared this roster isn't good enough. If the Lakers stand pat and then get bounced in the second round by OKC or Houston, that's not just a playoff loss. That's organizational failure. That's proof that they wasted LeBron's final years because they were too scared to make the tough decisions. Austin Reaves needs to prove he's more than a regular season scorer. LeBron needs to figure out how to coexist with Luka's pace. And the entire roster needs to find an identity that doesn't rely on referees bailing them out every possession. The Western Conference playoffs are going to be a bloodbath. Only the toughest, most complete teams survive. And right now, the Lakers are neither. Rich Paul just threw down the gauntlet. The question is, will the Lakers answer? Drop your predictions in the comments. Can the Lakers win a championship with this roster? Smash that like button and subscribe for more brutal NBA breakdowns. The playoffs are coming and the Lakers are running out of time.